I want to start at the beginning, in the womb of my mother, really, back in 1950s.
That's a good
And
place to start.
It's a good place to start. Good. Bless my mother wherever she is.
Yes.
I was born into a very 3D working class family, and they would not understand anything I'm talking about or going to talk about. I remember my father left in 1991 the planet, and that was my first awakening. Actually, it was almost like I was free to explore my weird self, where I wasn't really free before. So I really dived in. I started going to alternatives. I found a spiritual mentor called Jill Edwards, and maybe some of you have heard of her. She's a brilliant teacher. She's passed over as well. I had a magical journey, trained a lot of beautiful teachers in America, actually. I found lots of channels. The best channels I found in America, Orin and Darben, Lazarus, Seth. Seth, of course, has passed now. But
Yeah, I love Lazarus, and Seth is a must read for anyone on the spiritual path. Yes.
yeah, unfortunately, the channels of Orin and Darben have also left. I mean, they're leaving, unfortunately. But I mean, the great thing in the early days was there was less less out there. But now there's a great deal of choice, and it's harder, I guess, in some ways for people to know, well, what is the right teacher? What is the right platform? There's just a myriad. But in the early
Right.
days, there was less to choose from, and there are
I
really
know.
good teachers out there.
I remember those early days in the 80s, when Lazarus and Ramtha was one of my favorites, and Kevin Ryerson was around, and now, even though some of them are leaving, there's some great information coming to the planet with
Oh,
some
absolutely. Yeah.
beautiful
And I think
people.
it was a great time because, I had a magical time, creating my reality and work. Is it for real? I mean, that's a question in a lot of people's minds. Does it work? And if it works, well, let's try it out. And I really pushed the boat in many, many ways, really pushing the universe. If you really are there, then let's see. And eventually I got the message through in a meditation one day, stop pushing the boat. You've got all your answers. We're here. So I stopped doing my weird, trying to push the boat stuff.
Yeah, but from your mother's womb, I'm just curious, what was the moment where you say, wow, there's this whole other reality that's going on?
Well, as a child, I was into I mean, I love the American comics, all the graphic comics that came out. There's loads of them, very sci-fi, fantasy. It was brilliant. Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings came along. Doctor Who in England. I mean, Doctor Who for me was a classic moment. I was about 5 when the first episode came out. But by the age of about 13, 14, I got the message from my parents, stop daydreaming and get real. So I thought, oh, I have to get real and study and everything. But when my father passed in 91, I just jumped into everything, everything out there, shamanism, Wicca, light body, everything. And I joined alternatives. I became a director. Very weird synchronicity. I was working in the corporate world and I got the message, time to resign, and I did resign. There was a double rainbow the next morning. So I'm on the right track. And I became a director of alternatives, a spiritual organization with a great reputation, when really I didn't have the CV I wouldn't say I had the great CV to do that. But anyway, I became the director. I dived in. I helped organize about 2,000 author events, met a lot of great teachers. So 30 years of intensity. In 2010, I had another awakening, but this one was a bit darker. This one was, I would say, it led me to a dark night of the soul, which was a very different experience. So after having this magical flowing time, I had 6 years in the dark night of the soul. And in that dark night of the soul, I got to see that there were realms and beings that I never really knew existed. So when I practiced shamanism and was doing, diving into the underworld, I never found any lower astral plane, never found any dark beings. I never found anything like that. But after the dark night, I was being visited and kicked about for, quite a long time. And I had to find resources to help deal with it quite quickly. So when I came out of the dark night, 2016, I got the message one morning from a guide. I hadn't heard any guidance, nothing had come through for 6 years, which is quite traumatic. And, I was thinking, I really need the guidance now. I'm a bit lost. But anyway, I had a voice coming through saying, it's time to teach about ascension and starseeds. And I didn't really know what to talk about, but the kind of voice was just get on with it. You'll work it out. So I started running workshops. People came, they were like we love this. This is amazing. I didn't really know if it was amazing, but I was encouraged. I started doing transmissions. There are a lot of transmissions on my YouTube channel. I've got about 560 recordings on my YouTube channel covering every single possible, area, from health to chakras to goddess to star races and so on. So after a dark night, and where I am now, what I've come to see is that the planet is ascending. I wasn't quite sure if it was ascending or whether it was going down, some dark rabbit hole. But now I do believe it is ascending. I do feel there's a lot of darker timelines which are being neutralized. And these darker timelines have been prophesized. For example, in Revelations, we have the timeline of the apocalypse and the four horsemen. All of that is being neutralized, although there are echoes and it's still kind of there. We're passing through a very interesting time of volatility. And that volatility is being created because a lot of light is coming into the planet. The more light that comes into the planet, the more the old, darker systems, darker energies are being stirred up and are kind of rising up and resisting the process. There are forces on the planet that don't like the process of ascension very much. They're not interested in it, and they want to actually counter it and block it. What we also have on the side of the light is a lot of starseeds being born here. Now, starseeds, they've been born here from the 40s onwards, probably, or actually World War II actually onwards, but they really have started increasing in number. A starseed is a soul, an old soul who has been round the block many times, who've had lifetimes in many different dimensions and planes of existence. And so the Earth plane is not their natural home, but they come here. It's our temporary home. And many of them are kind of having experiences from different planes. So I do see people talking about, well, a Pleiadian starseed is this and an Orion starseed is that. It's very difficult to actually give absolutely firm descriptions of these, because starseeds tend to be wanderer souls, having these different experiences. But starseeds would have a primary home, whether Pleiades or Arcturus or Sirius or Orion or wherever, or Lyra or wherever. So I consider myself a nomadic wanderer soul. I actually had a healing session once, and the healer was channeling something and said, "You wander a soul," and I'm like, at the time thinking, what does that mean? It doesn't sound very nice. I'm a wanderer soul. But now I kind of accept it. So there are all these starseeds here, and they're here to anchor light on the planet and anchoring the new grids of light. And there are two main grids. There are more than two grids, but the two main grids, I would say, are the crystalline grid of the Earth, which is coming up from the Earth. It's holding a new grid of light, a new possibility of light for the Earth. The Earth is ascending. The old grid of the Earth, which a lot of people are grounding into, contains all of the old karma of the Earth, all the old war of the Earth, all of the old history of the Earth, which is difficult. And so I do recommend when people ground into the Earth, they try to they intend to ground into the crystalline 5D grid of the Earth and not the old grid of the Earth. You can connect to the old grid of the Earth. It is still healing. We can connect to the magma of the Earth and the rocks and the water of the Earth, but it's better to connect to the 5D crystalline grid, especially for starseeds. It's much better. The other grid is coming through from the great central sun down through the stargate of our sun, down into this dimension. This is the cosmic Christ grid, or the ascension grid. So these two grids are coming and holding, and I tend to see them as the cosmic Christ grid coming down and really anchoring from the heart upwards, and the crystalline grid of the Earth coming up and anchoring in the heart downwards, and they meet in the heart. And this is the meeting place, the heart. So we're being called at this time to have a foot in two worlds, to ground and be in this world, but also to be not of this world and connect to the spirit worlds and the various realms of the spirit worlds. In all my transmissions, I call on 6 archangels. The horizontal plane is East Raphael, archangel of air, healer, magician. South Michael, warrior, protector. West Gabriel, messenger angel, dreamtime angel. North Uriel, archangel of the earth, of physical body, of the etheric body, of spiritual laws. And I also call on a Metatron from the great central sun and Sandalphon from the crystalline grid of the earth. These 6 directions hold the space it's very important to do this because all magical traditions would hold space, calling in certain energies. In Wicca, they would call the elemental forces of the directions, and they would ground, and they might call down the sun. Now, I still believe there's a lot of value in that, because we need to have strong energetic boundaries for the work we're doing. We need to create a strong container for the work we're doing. And so all the transmissions I do is to create the container. If the container is not strong, then the energies will leak or fracture or whatever's going on. It needs to be a strong container. Our energy fields need to be a strong container. We need to practice spiritual hygiene daily. And because there are these lower forces, we can go into buildings which have thought forms of anger. We can attend bars where there is the kind of thought form around alcohol or whatever it is. That there's a lot of thought forms around. There are lost souls around. There are earthbound souls around. There are lower astral forces around. The more we expand our light, the more, this is not to frighten anyone, but it's just the way I think it is actually, the more light we absorb and radiate, the more the kind of lower frequency forces will tend to be attracted to that light, like moths to the flame, you could say. And so a lot of starseeds after the millennium started getting psychic interference. So my 6 years in the dark night of the soul, I didn't get psychic interference. I got full-on psychic attack. And so this was my training. I consider it almost like a Hogwarts training, the dark arts of Hogwarts. And I believe my higher self allowed it because I needed to experience that level of attack. Because in my own work and healing sessions, what I'm also doing is neutralizing black magic. And black magic is a reality on this planet. It's not so well known in the developed world, but of course in the third world, developing worlds, it's well known. But it doesn't mean that black magic doesn't exist in the developed world. Black magic does exist, I believe, and also in the higher echelons, corporate, financial, government, political, and higher black magic. And black magic has been really happening on the planet probably since end Lemurian times, certainly end Atlantean times, and then on into Egypt, Tibet, and these places. So there comes a point in the journey where we start having to clear black magic, psychic interference, ritual magic, blood magic, sex magic, all these kind of things. And clearing it out, we need to clear the muddy path. I think there's a saying, it might be in Hawaiian shamanism, clearing the muddy path between the conscious, unconscious, and superconscious self, these selves, or you could say the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and superconscious self, where the conscious mind, the left brain, masculine, right brain, intuitive, imaginative, connect. They've been separated for so long in this world, separated. And these are now needing to connect, because when we connect our intuition and logic, we find pure genius starts to emerge. When we start to really access our right hemisphere brain, we can start connecting down into the subconscious. Subconscious is really all the memories of this lifetime, programming, imprints, and unconscious, which is all the memories of other lifetimes, and also our ancestral programming, ancestral energies, which we are touched by. I think even in the Bible, they talk about being touched by the sins of the fathers up to 7 generations. But it's not just the sins, it's the energy of the ancestral line. And the more we unify the conscious mind, the more we clear the muddy path down through the subconscious, clearing the stuff out of this lifetime, all of our old belief systems and stories and life scripts and agreements. And then down into the unconscious mind, clearing out. This is where the real muddy work becomes visible. We've got other lifetimes. Now, I remember back in the 90s, my first spontaneous other life memory was of being burnt as a witch, and it was really terrifying. I remember, laying in the bath, maybe too much information, lots of bubbles and everything, and just having this meditating, having this memory of being burnt and exploring it. And I believe it was probably in northern France back in the 11, 12, maybe 1300s. Terrifying. I remember looking at the audience of people and thinking, well, there was a mixture of real anger and terror, thinking, oh my God, they're actually going to do this. And out into the field, there were these three stacks of wooden poles. And the last bit of the memory, I remember being choked. I wasn't being burnt, I was being choked. And then I researched it and I found that actually a lot of people who were burnt to death actually died of asphyxiation. So I'm like, oh, right, okay. So we are clearing the muddy path. And one of the things we will encounter in our spiritual awakening, we've got the unseen friends, we've got our higher self, we've got angels, we've got star beings and star races assisting us, we've got specialist teams in spirit assisting us, we've got elemental forces, we've got forces of the earth assisting us. Um, there are overlighting devas of the earth which are assisting us. Um, but what we will find is we will encounter resistance from our own ego mind. So this is part of the clearing process. We start clearing the inner channel and our own ego mind starts kicking in. And ego mind is the mind of the parts of us which are fearful, anxious, critical, judgmental, and sabotaging, blocking. We're going to meet these parts. And even we may feel confused as to what is the voice of the higher self and guides and what is the voice of these blocking ego parts. And we all have ego parts. The ego is not one thing. The personality is not one fixed thing. It's a gestalt of energies. We may have inner children. We may have wounded children, magical children. We have adventurous parts of ourselves, introverted parts of ourselves. We may have parts that just want to chill and not do anything, parts of us which want to achieve and go for it, parts of us which may feel we have to do it perfectly, parts of us which may be afraid of being blamed or judged, all of these parts. And there's a whole, gestalt of them. Some of them are primary and some of them are more distant. So this is the family of cells we start meeting. And there's a healing and upgrading that happens in the ego selves. Our inner children want to be held and loved. And there's protector, controller, managers that want to keep things as they are. There are firefighters that come leaping in to put out any upsets in the family of selves. But light will start disturbing our ego family of selves. And so it's a gradual kind of opening and releasing older, darker energies. So at the moment, this is the process we're on. We're here, Starseeds are here for personal clearing, personal karma clearing, personal reasons. We're here to learn personal lessons. We are here to learn to create our reality. We learn to have fun, have joy. We're learning to raise our vibration. We're learning to perhaps achieve certain things. We've come for certain personal reasons. But Starseeds have also come for more cosmic reasons. We've come to serve the planet at this time. The planet is shifting and awakening. And there are timelines at this moment, many timelines converging. Some of those timelines are very light and they lead to a new earth, a Garden of Eden in the future. And that timeline, it's very slow. I know some starseeds are impatient. Well, when's it happening? It should have happened in 2012. There's going to be another shift, I believe, on the planet by 2030, 32. Another big shift, more starseeds will be incarnating. The proportion of starseeds will increase because at the moment there are still starseeds and non-starseeds, younger souls still coming into the planet because it's not going to happen overnight. It's a slow shift. And then by 2050, I believe another shift where the majority of beings coming into the planet will be starseeds. By 2070, I believe it will be only starseeds coming here. Can you imagine? If only starseeds are coming here with their higher consciousness, what kind of planet will we have by the end of the century? We will have a planet where there is no war. I mean, hopefully the end of war will happen sooner, because we need to, before we can really advance into the new age properly, we need to end war. And because of this, war is increasing on the planet. There are forces which are stirring up wars in various places. They're very traumatic wars. I've been looking at them, and a lot of people have been sending healing to these places. Ukraine, and particularly the hot spot really, I think, is the Middle East, because that conflict is linked to a darker timeline, I believe. And there are forces which have been trying to kick off war in that place for a while now. The Syrian war, the civil war, which happened a while ago, was part of this, but it's always being neutralized by the Starseed Collective, by the Family of Light Collective. The moment there's something being triggered, the Starseed family come on board and kind of squash it, push it down. And I think those dark forces are still confused as to why are we not really completely, activating this dark timeline, really. The 9/11, I think, was the first time those dark forces really majorly stepped out on the world stage in a big way, in a dramatic way. The recent lockdowns we've had is, to my mind, been orchestrated by, it's been an agenda being planned for a number of years. And it's, on the one hand, difficult, but on the other hand, quite brilliant, because every time dark forces try and initiate something, what it does is waking up star seeds, you know, waking them up, really. So I've met people who've been woken up by 9/11. It made me wake up a bit more. The recent lockdown, global lockdown, I went on a march in London. 1 million people were marching, and these are not star seeds. I think just regular people. Now, star seeds wake up through spiritual practice, spiritual revelation. Non-star seeds, meaning those beings which have been here a long time in the reincarnational cycle of the earth, do not wake up through spiritual revelation. They're not particularly interested in spiritual revelation. If they hear it, they'll think it's bonkers. So if any of you've got non-starseed families, and most of my family are non-starseed, if they ask me what I'm up to, I tell them I'm up to no good. And we have a laugh. I don't try and get too involved in trying to persuade them, because it's very hard to persuade, or I'm not really into persuading. Anyway, non-starseeds wake up through another kind of revelation. And the kind of revelation that they're waking up to is what, for example, the whistleblowers are doing. Most whistleblowers are starseeds, I believe. The kind of experience of whistleblowing really accelerated after 2012. I think Julian Assange, for all his faults, is an amazing starseed. What he's done, waking up people. Edward Snowden in Russia, I should say. If I look at him, he looks like an angel. He has a kind of face of an angel, and I just feel this high vibration from him. And I believe he had the purest of intentions in revealing what the governments were up to. So here we are, where starseeds are waking up through spiritual revelation. Non-starseeds are waking up through other kinds of revelations, WikiLeaks and other kind of things. When we get on our path, there are a number of challenges, and as I mentioned, the ego is being upgraded. Now, one of these challenges is the body consciousness itself. It is not always 100% on board. That doesn't always 100% know what's going on with us. So I want to do a little exercise for you guys now around the body consciousness. We want to get it on board in terms of the ascension process. So it's a very brief little process, and it's important to get the body consciousness on board so it stops resisting. So if you just take a breath, close your eyes. And I'm going to speak, actually, if you put your non-dominant hand on the belly, which is the center of your body consciousness, body elemental. And I want to speak directly to your body elemental, your body consciousness. Just let this statement in, if you will. Dear body consciousness, we are going through an ascension process, which involves absorbing more higher frequencies of light in the physical and energy bodies. This may feel a challenging process, but there is no reason to be afraid. This may seem a challenging process, but there is no reason to be afraid. We are being upgraded at all layers and levels of our being. All aspects of our being are shifting in light. It is time now to release all fear, all anxiety, all resistance to the process, and allow an upgrade to all protection programs. It's time to release all family and genetic conditioning that limits the ascension process. It's time to release any level of self-sabotage, self-attack. It's safe now to embrace the light, even though it hasn't been safe for many lifetimes. It is safe now to embrace the light, even though it hasn't been safe for many lifetimes. It's time to release anything limiting the light or impeding your path. It's time to release all collective energies weighing you down. It's time to release all old stories, limiting beliefs that originate in this 3D world, in this 3D paradigm, or any system arising therein. It is time now to release all conflict and drama as a means of growth. It's time now to release all conflict and drama as a means of growth. We're entering a new age of light. Slowly but surely, we are entering a new age of light. It is time now to release all old trapped energies and emotions. It is time now to reunite body and spirit, masculine and feminine, power and vulnerability, light and dark, ego and higher self. The true twin flame is the unification of ego and higher self. It is time now to release the load of the 3D matrix and embrace the 5D matrix that's coming on the earth plane. It's time to enter a greater sense of ease, flow, abundance, and grace within the abundance process, within the ascension process, I should say, within the ascension process. Just allow that to go deep into your bones and blood and systems of your body. Allow that statement to go deep into the cells of your body. Allow that statement to go very deep into the very DNA of your body, into the physical strands of your DNA, into the etheric strands that are waiting to activate in your physical body. There are more strands than just two, many more. All the junk DNA is waiting to be reconfigured within these new strands, at least 12, waiting to be rewound in your cells. Your body elemental knows this. Your body consciousness knows this. It just needs to be told it's time now to do this. It's time now to do this. Release the fear of the past. It is safe to be seen, safe to be heard, safe to be visible. I'll say that again. It's now safe to be seen, safe to be heard, safe to be visible. Even though in other lifetimes you may have been punished or killed or harmed, in this lifetime, the light is supporting you. The light is holding you. The universe has your back. 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 Many blessings. And breathe. And breathe. And I think I've got a couple more minutes. I just want to mention a couple of the main challenges that's going on right now. A big challenge for Starseeds is in the area of romance, can be very volatile at the moment. Partners can change as your vibration changes. The idea of a twin soul partnership, the twin soul partnership exists in many different dimensions. There is not just one twin soul, twin flame. There is many, and it depends on your own state of vibration. There are also false twin flames. Be careful of that one. False twin flames. Work and money is a big area being activated for many starseeds. Abundance is a very important area. All financial systems have been controlled by dark forces. Now it's time to take control of your own abundance. You can be in the system and not controlled by the system. It is very possible, very possible. The diet is very important. The body is seeking more light, and it cannot get this from physical food. Living on light is important. There is a transmission on my YouTube channel called Living on Light Transmission. Be aware of the offenders in your diet: sugar, wheat, gluten, dairy, processed foods, factory farm animals killed in fear. Be aware of all these. Starseeds need especially more minerals and supplements. You need a purer diet. Water needs to be purified. It's important to find your soul tribe, those who are in spirit and in the physical plane, who align with your vibration, align with your soul mission. You are here with a mission. You are here with a mission. And this mission is alignment with your heart and soul. It's an alignment with your true values, alignment with your true identity, alignment with the reason you've come here, your multidimensional gifts, your dreams, your values, your skills and strengths, and all synchronicities which are guiding you forward are signs from the universe to your true soul mission, to your true soul mission, to your true soul mission. So I'm not sure how much more time do I have, guys. Can you just send me a message?
You have 10 minutes, Steve.
Oh, 10 minutes. Great.
Mhm.
Time for a little meditation. Okay. If you close your eyes, Let's do a quick meditation. Again, putting your non-dominant hand this time on your heart. Let's invoke the 6 archangels. Raphael in the east. Symbol is the crystal wand. The energy is emerald green fire. Michael in the south. The symbol is a sword of angelic blue light. The energy is electric blue fire. Gabriel in the west. The symbol is a silver chalice. The energy is diamond white fire. And Uriel in the north. The symbol is a golden pentacle and the energy is ruby red fire. Calling those 4 archangels to hold the space around you right now. I call your teams in spirit, the highest light and resonance, your higher selves. From the 6th dimension to the 12th dimension, come be with you now. All star races, star brothers, star sisters, star family, star councils come be with you now. Those working with you of the purest light. All teams in spirit working with you of the purest light come be with you now. All guides on the earth plane and galactic planes who are working with you of the highest light come be with you now. Let's call Metatron and all angels working with Metatron and the cosmic Christ grid to hold the space from the heart upwards. And Archangel Raphael, the earth below, to bring up that light, ethereal white, up to the heart, anchoring into the heart, allowing all chakras from the heart downwards to anchor into the crystalline grid of the earth. 6 angels, 6 energies and open. 6 angels, 6 energies and open. I want you to imagine that there are almost like 2 pathways running parallel with one another. 2 pathways. One pathway is the 3D world, the old 3D world, with all of its old structures and old dynamics and old systems. And one is the new emerging age of light, 5D emerging age of light. Find yourself with a foot on both paths, a foot on both paths. You have a foot in the 3D world, perhaps. Many of us do have a foot there or a finger there, just placing one foot there for the moment for this meditation, and one foot in the high frequency, cosmic Christ path, 5D ascension path of light. Feeling these 2 vibrations. They do not sit well with one another. They do not sit well with one another, actually. Just for now in this meditation, just for a moment, I want you to place both feet on the 3D path, the 3D world, the old world of blame and judgment, of separation and war and conflict and empire building and narcissistic abuse, all of that stuff. You know that vibration. I just want you to feel that vibration for a moment. Some of it may be still echoing in your systems. Some of it may still need to be released from you. Just take a moment to feel if there's any of that old energy still echoing down through space and time, through all layers, levels, dimensions of your being. Just take a moment. Is there anything echoing in the physical body, etheric body, emotional or mental bodies, lower mental body, higher mental body? If you feel those echoes, there's still work to be done as you stand on the 3D timeline, the 3D world. Place a foot back on the 5D world, back on the 5D world, and feel that vibration running through you. The 5D connecting to the 3D world. If there's any healing you need, invite the 5D light into any places in your body where you're still holding old 3D energies, dense energies. If there are any energetic cords connecting you to any being or group or organization or situation in the old 3D world, ask these 5D energies of light to begin to upgrade in gold light and dissolve all of them. Dissolve and remove every cord to the 3D world if you're willing, if you're able. If that's your path, if that's what you want to do, dissolve all of it. Dissolve all of it. And release what needs to be released to that world. Release what needs to be released to that world. You do not need to save the old 3D world. The old 3D world is wobbling badly. It's wobbling badly. Systems are wobbling and collapsing. There are dark forces in that world trying to uphold that world. That is not your world. You don't need to fight dark forces. It's important to know this. Some of you may be doing that. You do not need to fight dark forces. You need to release dark forces. They will collapse on their own merit. Their own karmic destiny is to collapse in this world, the 5D world. They cannot be sustained in the 5D world. Imagine sending a higher vibration 5D light into your family of ego selves, your own ego psyche. The controllers, the managers of your psyche, sending them love for everything they're doing, your personality selves, telling them it's time to relax, time to increase in light, time to expand in light, time to step onto the path, and also sending light beyond them to the wounded children, the magical children, the wounded adolescent, the magical adolescent, the curious adolescent, those magical parts within you that stand behind the wounded parts, sending light to the wounded parts, allowing the magical aspects of your being to step forward, for these are the ones helping you to step into a new age of light. These are the ones helping you step into a new age of light. Sending that healing light to anywhere you're still connected, to the 3D world, perhaps a 3D job, perhaps a 3D relationship, sending light to all of that to upgrade it. But be careful, because some of those connections may dissolve quicker than you wish. So ask for everything to be dissolved in divine time, not too fast to throw you into any chaos, to be done at the right time, right speed, right pace, not too fast, to enable you to step more fully in the 5D world. Take your foot off the 3D world and bring both feet into the 5D vibration, allowing all of your fields, energy fields, layers of your energy fields of your physical body to begin to vibrate with a higher light, a higher frequency. The destiny of the earth is a new age of light. It's many decades in the future, but you can step into that reality now. You can create a 5D reality. You can create your own reality, one of joy, one of grace, one of abundance now. You don't have to wait for the world to step fully into that paradigm. And just breathing and opening, allowing that vibration of light into the physical body, etheric body, emotional body, lower mental, and higher bodies. And breathing, asking for your higher self to help clear the muddy path, opening the inner channel between higher self, conscious mind, subconscious self, and unconscious mind. Clearing the inner channel, releasing any bleed through energies from any other lifetime that need to be cleared now and released now. Clearing any energies from your parents and grandparents that need to be dissolved, that does not help you. But connecting you more powerfully to the deep ancestors, those who live in a higher frequency of light, those who exist beyond all pain and suffering. And breathing and opening and feeling that vibration in your body. I'm just going to leave all of these archangels now for the rest of the day for you, but just allow them to return to the light when you're done with them, holding your space throughout this conference, throughout this day. But staying connected to your higher self, staying grounded, and open your eyes and take a breath and wiggling fingers and toes. Have a wiggle, stay grounded, have a sip of tea. And there we are. I hope that was good for some of you. I hope that's what some of you needed. I certainly enjoyed it.